Hey, this is Jody Sweeten, and you're listening to the Fuller House Podcast.
The Fuller House Podcast with Erica and Kyle. We are back from watching the final season 2 taping of Fuller House, and I must say we had a blast. This week we're going to tell you about the taping and fill you in on a bunch of your favorite Full House characters coming back in season 2. So stay with us. Where else are you going to go?
1, 2, 3, 4. La 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 la. Whatever happened to predictability?
Well, hello, Erica.
You know what I was thinking? I'll
What
start
were you
this off
thinking?
right away. I was thinking about when we were first dating and how when we'd have conversations on the phone, I'd try to be like, hey, what are you doing? And like change my voice.
Really?
Well, I mean, not like a lot, but I didn't want
Oh, were you trying to be sultry?
I mean, not sultry, but now I get on the podcast with you and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? But back in the day, it was, hi. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Wow, this is something I never knew. Were you trying to impress me?
Well, yeah, but you were always like, hey, Erica, how are you? You tried to make your deep voice sound as deep as possible.
Well, that does sound like me. And hello, everyone. Of course,
That was a
this is
joke. He didn't do
Kyle.
that. But I did. And I'm Erica.
And I just wanted to say hello to any of you who might be tuning in on YouTube.
Hey, YouTube.
This will be the first episode to go up at the same time as the regular podcast. So if you're a longtime listener and you're ever forgot your phone at home and want to catch up on the episode, you can always head to YouTube and search out the Fuller House Podcast going forward.
That's right. We're on Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play. You said iTunes, right?
Yes, all the good podcast staffs will have us, but now YouTube. And I was surprised that Jody Sweeten interview you did last week. The way YouTube does their stats, they actually will list out the amount of minutes people spent watching. And so far, over 5,800 minutes were spent watching that.
A really good use of 5,800 minutes, if you ask me.
Yes, someplace, over 4 complete days, which is probably more by now because I checked yesterday, but over 4 full days of people's time was spent watching you talk to Jody.
That's so cool. I mean, more of listening, but listen/watching. If you guys haven't listened to it yet, we have that interview up right now. It's from a couple weeks, last week. It was taped, and it's with me and Jody Sweeten, which was like a dream come true for me. And we talked about season 2 Fuller House, and we talked about a lot of different things. And then we've also talked to Ashley Liao, which is now
Michael Campion.
Juan Pablo, Elias Harger, who plays Max. All of those interviews are up now. So check us out, guys.
So over time, we want to get all the past episodes up on YouTube, but it actually takes quite some time to do. So in the meantime, we just uploaded all of our interviews and are going to be posting each new episode on there. But eventually, we'll get everything up there.
And over time, we'd like to get Dave Coulier, Bob
Yeah,
Saget,
we've got a wish list.
Yeah.
So since that's a new thing for us, if you want to head over there and I don't know, what do? You hit like or subscribe? What do the YouTube people do?
I know. I feel like we're so unhip just now getting on and we're like, and how does it work? When I interviewed Michael Campion, by the way, I was like, who's your celebrity crush? And it was a YouTube star. And I was like, okay, so a guy on a hit TV show likes, and admires somebody on YouTube. Interesting.
Hey, wait, doesn't that make
Things
you
have
feel
changed. Really old. So if you know how to use YouTube, use it the way you use it. And
feel free to send us any tips.
And we're this week's a little different. We're now accepting reviews. So okay, that's not new. But we are loving your reviews. We need more of them. So iTunes is the place to rate us 5 stars. Can you rate us on YouTube? Is that what you were saying? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you like or something. Boy, we sound old.
Yeah.
So we should probably move on and get to some of the news.
Rate us on Podbean, though. So, yeah, Well, our news is we went to the last taping of Fuller House, us and like 200 other people. And
Yeah,
that's it. Okay? That's it.
well, not quite it. We'll get to that talking about the taping. But first, I know there's been some talk about some returning Full House characters. And I thought maybe we'd just go through a rundown on who's coming back. And
well, let's do something first, though. A little improv here. Who are you most excited to see back out of who you know is coming back?
So I was most excited to, I'll be honest, I was most excited hoping that Dwayne would come back.
Uh-huh.
And
I don't know if that's true.
You don't know if that's true?
I think now that you might have seen something, you're hoping that. I don't know if that's
I don't know.
okay,
so you're wanting me to transport myself back a week before I knew anything about this, and see, of the people who I don't know.
I think you were a Gia fan. Okay,
I don't know.
Whatever. You're taking way too long, so I'll go ahead and let you know. I think Gia would probably be my.
Maria Sokolov.
But I didn't. Maria? That's not her name.
Isn't that her real name?
No, I don't think so.
Well, let
Maria?
me look.
That just doesn't sound right. I'm not letting you edit this out either, because it's funny that you called her Maria.
Gosh, okay, I don't know. It's
let's see.
It's Marla.
Marla. I was like, wait a second.
Marla, I'm so sorry.
Gosh,
when I was reading some news stories, for some reason I read it as Maria, and it's stuck in my head.
Maria. Well, we hope to get Maria on the show too.
Yes.
I mean Marla.
Maria.
This is like the time you called Farrah from Teen Mom Fana. Okay,
there's no place in my brain to retain anything having to do with Teen Mom. In fact, I
That's
resent
a shame.
you. You just gave my brain work. I have to purge the mention of Teen Mom from my brain, so I resent you right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
Gia, who may have been on a path to become a teen mom, I'm not sure.
But you dug up her Full House last name, which is apparently Mahan.
Yes.
I never knew that. I thought she was just like Madonna, like she went by Gia.
Oh, just Gia?
Yeah.
Well, I picked up the Girl Power CD and read the liner notes to. What was the name of the band?
Girl Talk?
Girl Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, I kind of talked about that with Jodie Sweetin. I asked her if she'd rather do backup for New Kids on the Block or Ace of Base. Backup dancing, is that what I asked her? And she said, New Kids on the Block, because she's kind of burnt out on the sign.
I saw the sign.
Anyways.
So Gia is coming back, and can you confirm that they will be reuniting the band?
I think you can use your imagination.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I can never remember what we're allowed to confirm and not.
Yeah. The imagination is a beautiful thing. What about Kathy Santoni?
I hope you guys will pardon this interruption, but I wanted to jump in and let you know that in between the time we recorded this episode and now, we did get confirmation that it is, in fact, Anne-Marie McEvoy coming back to play Kathy Santoni again. So everything I'm about to say about how she's been recast, just kind of ignore that because, well, I was wrong. Anyways, back to the show.
Kathy Santoni is coming back, and she has been recast.
Somebody's got to tweet the real Kathy Santoni. I want like a T-shirt that says, "I'm the real Kathy Santoni," or like something about the real Kathy Santoni.
Yeah, I feel like we need to reach out to some of these people who have been recast and see if we can get their thoughts on stuff.
Okay, so we kind of have breaking news here, guys.
Do it.
You've got another last name for Nelson? I thought he was like the equivalent of Liberace. He was just Nelson, but apparently...
No, it's Nelson Burkhart.
Lame. Okay, well, we're going to confirm something. I think this is the first time anyone's mentioned anything like this. So you heard it here first. The new Nelson replacement.
Oh, so you're telling me that it is not going to be Jason Marsden?
It is not.
The very successful voice actor?
Why don't you tell him who it's going to be, Kyle?
He's going to be someone who I absolutely, well, adore might be a strong word, but
Yeah, I
I'm
think
a
it's
big
definitely a
fan.
strong word.
You may know him from E's Talk Soup. Pretty much any show about the 70s, 80s, 90s, or new millennium from VH1. It's Mr. Hal Sparks.
Woo! You know, I was in acting class the other night, and some guy in my class auditioned for Fuller House. Like he used the Fuller House script to audition with, and he played Nelson.
Oh,
And-
really?
and-
So he was practicing to
Yeah.
audition for this?
Which is funny because when I went to the taping by Friday, they had cast Hal Sparks. So I was like, basically, Mister, you never stood a chance because
No,
they
because
cast
Hal's
Hal
awesome.
Sparks. Well, I mean,
You know
he's a
what,
name
though?
that they know.
Jason Marsden apparently was approached about this, and according to his Twitter, it basically came down to there was a conflict because
Because he wanted to go to Dragon Con. What is Dragon Con, by the way?
He had a commitment. It's a fan convention, because he did a lot of voiceovers and video games and cartoons and
You
stuff.
sound really understanding about this.
Oh, well, it's if you agree to go do something and then something else comes up, even if it's something
I'm
that
playing.
you really want to do.
I turned that off. I don't know if you heard. I was just playing a little bit of the video he put up on Twitter at Dragon Con. Sorry for any technical difficulties there. Sorry, what were you saying?
I didn't come
What
through.
is Dragon Con?
It's a convention. I think it's like science fiction, comics,
No
fantasy.
wonder you're understanding. See, I'm like, no. You come to Fuller House.
Hey, if his word is his word, and he said that he would be there, and good for him not backing out.
I have to say, Hal Sparks,
Nailed it.
no, I mean, he's just, you guys aren't going to be let down, I don't think. It's just, Nelson, I hate to say it, but Nelson was replaceable. Like, some people are not. Nelson kind of was. And Hal does.
Okay.
Because it's been so long, you're not going to get the same thing
right,
anyway.
Because it's been 20-something years.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, he could have come back with a shaved head and.
Gosh, speaking of feeling old.
Hey, I'm just saying, he could have come back looking
20-something
like
years.
Lex, a rich Lex Luthor, and it would have worked.
Do you want to go to Dragon Con?
I would have loved to, but Jason never sent me my tickets.
And we were so understanding, too.
So, yes, I am very excited about this.
I'm a little surprised that
Why?
that Nelson and Viper, yes, Viper, we said, were used in the season 2 of Fuller House because Jeff Franklin is back and in charge again.
Oh yeah, Nelson and Viper were both
later additions,
characters that came to the show after Jeff Franklin had left for was it Hanging with Mr. Cooper?
Yeah. Can I just say really quickly, I'm changing the subject really fast, but God bless Hal Sparks, because during the curtain call, the mom of the Messitt twins came out holding one of the babies, either Fox or Dashel. I don't know which one it was, but she was holding one, and for some reason Hal Sparks was holding one when they're like all taking their bow. And one little baby Tommy was out the Tanner kitchen back door as fast as you can say.
I don't
know,
split second. Like at that moment, I realized how like babies end up in gorilla cages because it was like an eighth of a second.
But
No,
I see what you mean. Like it's like not the parents' always fault. Like you see how kids like that kid was quick though. I was like, what happened to the kid?
Well, it's funny because you see the door open and the kid.
Yeah, I was like, how did he get the door open? He like just
and
learned
so
to
Hal
walk.
runs after him and comes back in carrying one of the.
Hal did not run after him. He did like a mad dash after this child. Like
Hal might as well have had a cape flying from his back as he's through the door and came back.
What was so funny too is he looked like he was in a panic, like that the kid was gonna get, was gonna go out to the front yard in traffic, but the kid ran out the Tanner's back door in the kitchen.
I imagine in a set like that, you can easily lose a child in lots of dangerous areas.
What was funny is I looked at the mom and she was like, "Oh, he's fine." Like she was just holding the other kid. Like, yeah.
Like he came, and it was almost like it was Superman landing with Lois Lane in his arms after she fell off of a building, and he just kind of like delivers, the young Messitt boy to his mother. It's like, oh, I didn't even know he was missing.
I wish I had that on tape. Like the way the way the baby took off was the funniest thing ever. Like he's just like, no, I'm out. Like I don't want to do my curtain call.
Yeah,
It was
so
pretty cute.
those kids are adorable.
But thank God for Hal Sparks.
And so thank you, Hal, for saving the life of a young child.
And
Viper.
yes, you heard right. Viper is back. Now, Viper, you don't have a last name for here. I think that it's safe to say Viper is...
I do not think Viper had a last name.
No, Viper doesn't get a last name. Viper is Viper, right?
When you have a name like Viper, you don't need a last name.
Right. Well, we're gonna see Viper, and we saw him at the taping.
Yes, and it is still David Lipper,
looking pretty buff.
Hey, so can we call David Lipper friend of the show since he's always showing up in our Instagram feed liking stuff?
Why not? We could call anyone a friend of the show if we really feel like it.
Yeah, so it was great to see him back. I don't know if he looks like he's been working out for this role.
He does.
He had some guns on him.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like,
wait a minute. I'm recalling, what is this, like episode 3 when you were talking about how gorgeous you thought Viper was?
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have the dreads anymore, so, and by dreads, I mean locks. Can you say dreads for like hair? Yeah,
he had the rocker hair. There were no dreads. Do you even know what dreads are?
I didn't mean dreads. I meant locks. But yeah, he's kind of cute. I mean, I'm glad I was just sitting there with you because otherwise...
You may have been jumping over the rail.
I could have thrown my bra at him. I'm just saying.
Oh, God.
So my favorite person back is Dwayne.
Whatever.
Scott Menville. Dwayne doesn't have a last name either?
He looks familiar enough. Like when you look at him, like if I saw him walking down the street, I wouldn't be like, "Hey, look, it's Dwayne." But he definitely still looks familiar. Just
I knew
older.
It was the same Dwayne because I had seen him on Yahoo. Did like an interview at the beginning of the year with like Viper, Dwayne, Tommy Page, believe it or not, and it was all about. I guess they probably knew that, that everyone was coming back, but they kind of just...
Except Tommy Page.
Oh, yeah, we haven't seen Tommy Page.
Wait, is there a chance Tommy Page could be coming back and you don't know about it?
I think I would know.
Yeah, we get recaps sent in about just about every taping.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy Page, I think I would know.
Yeah, we have enough listeners that go that if Tommy Page showed up, you would have gotten an email immediately.
That's right.
So here's something, and gosh, we're pushing off the review of the final season 1 or recap of the final season 1 episode one more week. We had a busy weekend.
Yes,
but,
we've got one more episode left, which is what you just said, and it's called Love is in the Air.
Love is in the Air?
Yeah.
Episode 13 of season 1. But I was looking at it, we're going to have some time to fill before season 2 comes out, and we can't guarantee that there are going to be drips of news each week. So I'm trying to think of some things we can do in the meantime.
Well, we're going to get some interviews in.
Oh yeah, we've got some of that stuff that's going to happen. But since you always do the interviews, I was thinking I would try to do something, and maybe talk to some of the other people out there in the Full House / Fuller House fan community.
You're so creative. Look at you making good use of time.
This might never happen because, well, me, but if you have a favorite site out there, or if there's another podcast or a YouTube channel, or I don't know, a great Instagram account or something, if you want to send us a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, or shoot us an email at fullerhousepodcast@gmail.com. Whatever. I'm actually going to try and talk to a few people and maybe put a few short little mini interviews together, or talk about some of the other places you can go to find Full House and Fuller House stuff.
Okay. Well, I will leave that to you. I have something to share with the audience.
Uh-oh.
Some of you may have heard that I was trying to get on the blue couch by my 30th birthday.
Oh, are we going to move to the taping part of our episode?
No, we're going to move to the sentimental part of the episode.
Oh, okay, the sentimental part.
I did not get to sit on the blue couch. I will be 30 on Saturday. Just kidding. It's so sad. It's so hard turning 30. I'm not even going to lie. But I got the closest I have ever been to the blue couch.
Yay!
Last Friday by 30. And I think sometimes you just have to celebrate the small things in life.
It's a baby step. And we were right across the aisle from Jeff Franklin's dad.
That's true. He was very close. He comes, I think, to most of the tapings.
He seems like a nice guy.
And we sat on the side closest to the living room, which I've never sat in before.
Because we usually, the last time I was there, we were sitting across from the kitchen set. So
we were pretty close to the kitchen, too.
Yeah, but being now in the living room area, you were actually closer to the blue couch.
Yes. And I've never seen the living room that closely. So the thing that usually happens is the way the set is set up is the living room's to the left, kitchen's in the middle, and all the way to the right is generally the backyard, but not this time.
Yes, so I guess we are now officially in the segment where we talk about the taping.
Yes, Kyle, we are. you
I
keep wanting it to be announced. We are there. We are here. We have been here.
It's a clean transition.
Okay. So
yes, this was the high school reunion episode.
I bet you never thought you'd get to know a guy who can put a ladder on his head. Sorry.
Yes. So in the tapings we've gone to, there's been a guy named Ron Pearson who he keeps the studio audience entertained. You know, because you're there 6 to 8 hours. You know, and so he's a stand-up comedian. Apparently, he's also a juggler and can balance chairs and ladders on his head or on his chin while juggling. He's an incredibly
hilarious.
Funny guy.
Oh my gosh, yes. And we are actually probably going to have him on the show. So if you want to talk to somebody who has literally been at every single Fuller House taping and made magic in between scenes, you'll get to hear that.
There are few people who have seen as much Fuller House as this man.
That's true.
But he has not only seen every single scene, he's seen every single scene that got cut, retake, every take of every scene.
Yeah, that's true. That's why he tells us, what does he say periodically? You guys have actually been dead for 2 years. The taping kind of tends to go on.
Hey guys, I got news. I just found out that you've been here so long that you've actually been dead for 2 years.
You were feeling that way, I think.
Yeah, this taping did get a bit long because at the end of it, they had to record a bunch of crowd noise for the high school reunion scene.
Right,
so it's like
clapping.
Everybody be quiet. We're going to have the crowd just act like they're talking. And that seemed to go on for like an hour.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then we're going to record the crowd just clapping. And then we're going to record scenes of like dancing. Yeah, it was or we're going to record like facial shots, like just shoot, shots of people's from the episode's faces making certain expressions. And I think the director might have been a little particular because we spent like a good 45 extra minutes.
Yeah, just
after I was told I could not use the restroom because it was almost over.
Oh my goodness, this is a first world problem.
Yeah. That was a long taping though. So we were there 6 hours, you said?
Yes. Oh no. We were there like 6.5 hours, I think it was. And
they did not do an autograph signing at the end. But that doesn't mean...
No, because they had a wrap party immediately following. But I just want to say that...
That doesn't mean we didn't get an autograph.
No, that's true. But I want to say that the seats Sheila got for us, we were sitting right next to Ron.
Yes.
To my right was his backpack full of giveaways and juggling props and whatnot. Which immediately, of course, means that I was singled out to be the guy that was being picked on throughout the
Yes, you were
the
guy who didn't get the jokes.
Yes, even though I've heard his whole routine at a previous taping. I was the guy who didn't get any of the jokes.
Yeah, Ron's a good guy, though.
No, I liked him a lot. I had a lot of fun because, when he wasn't up doing his thing, we were able to chit chat a little bit and liked him a lot. So, which I guess I got to email him because I really want to get him on the show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But he didn't just tease you. He joked with Elias. I guess that's his thing. Somebody told me who goes to a lot of the tapings that he constantly jokes with Elias about being a 35-year-old man with a wife and 2 kids. That's kind of what he tends
just
to
like,
say.
oh gosh, Elias, he's great, isn't he? He's actually 35, wife and 2 kids.
So Elias
and Elias is just like sitting there, just looking up, like what,
yeah.
Not. But at the end of this episode, he came out looking like a 35-year-old man.
Well, he came out with cop glasses and a mustache. And he's
mustache.
like, look, you've been calling me a 35-year-old man. Here I am. And what cracked me up is Ron said, what, are you working for the CHP? And then later Elias is like, I look like a cop, don't I? Like he didn't
maybe he didn't understand what CHP was.
Yeah, well, he's not from California, so.
Oh, that's true.
That might be why.
It reminds me of we'll get this back to you ASAP. No, you'll pay me back as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's from an episode. I thought it was.
But he doesn't just pick on Elias. He was also picking on Michael a little bit.
Yeah, he tried to set up Michael with a girl from the audience who was 19. And it was so funny because Michael was like, "Oh, this is so embarrassing," and then he was like, "Well, how old is she?" Like asking questions, and Ron was like, "Yeah, see, notice how he acts like he's so embarrassed, and then look at him, he's asking questions." And then Elias, when they found out that the girl was 19, it was like, okay, too old. And Elias is like, she could be your babysitter.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And Michael's like, I'm sorry. He tries to set me up with a different girl every episode.
Poor Michael. Rough gig.
Yeah. By the way, does Andrea Barber always come out at the beginning of episodes in a robe?
Yes. And the first time I saw that, I was like, oh, her first scene will be in a robe. But it wasn't. And
no, I think
Candace
she likes being in a bathrobe.
Yeah, but the Candace and I think Jody, they sometimes come out at the end in slippers. I think what happens is they go backstage and get comfy, like as soon as they're...
Oh, like they're doing makeup and hair and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Comfortable.
And then especially once their scenes are done, I think they kind of just go and put on slippers. I heard that I don't know if you noticed this, but when Jodie Sweetin did her last role, or her last scene in the living room, I don't know if you remember, she was hugging the casting crew immediately after, because it was...
There's like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, of course I feel they're coming back for season 3. But I think there's always that chance, that like, what if this was all over once you finish
it's also
a season?
like, hey, that's it for another 9 months.
Right. And some of the actors live out of state, so they really don't get to see each other for a while. And speaking of which, John Brotherton was hanging out quite a bit in the audience with us. He wasn't in this episode, but he and his wife were around and. Oh, and I did see Candace's dad and tried to notice if he was standing, but
But he only stands when Candace kisses someone, which we cannot confirm nor deny in this episode.
I did see him standing in the back a lot. I think he's just been to so many tapings at this point that he just stands in the back.
He needs to stretch his legs a bit.
Yeah, I'll just watch from up here.
By the way, I did some math on the whole fact that this is a high school reunion.
Yes, and actually Ron announced this.
Yeah, I didn't mean for him to broadcast it out and like steal people's. But so this is happening before New Year's 2017. So this is happening in 2016.
The high school reunion.
And yes, the high school reunion is in 2016, and it's for the class of 1995. So either this is the either the 20th anniversary or 20th reunion was delayed by a year, or they're celebrating a 21st reunion.
So are you saying this episode was based on a high school reunion? Because I think we have not said that yet, actually.
Yeah, but okay. I went to my 10-year high school reunion. You went to your 10-year high school reunion. Maybe we'll go to our 20-year reunions, but will you go to your 21-year reunion?
Yeah, I could get drunk. I'll be 21.
No, that's not how that works.
Joke. Just kidding. Sadie's having major FOMO this episode, just so you know. Sadie's our dog.
Yeah. She wants out of the room? She wants in the room?
She hears your voice and she's like snorting under the door. I'm trying to convince her to stay. Kyle, I love you.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that.
You won me the greatest gift I have ever seen in my life. You guys have to look on Instagram, Fuller House Podcast. I posted what my hero won me. It's a prom picture of DJ and Steve, signed by the entire cast.
Yep, I did do that.
And I love it.
Yes, you have a picture of DJ and Steve at the high school prom, signed by,
Candace Cameron, right on her, like right by her picture. Yeah, Scott.
Andrea Barber, Jodie Sweetin.
And I didn't have Candace's autograph, so I was super excited. And I love the picture. We are framing that. Our grandkids can ask us about it. That's fine.
They'll ask, who are these people?
It was so nice of you to win that for me.
These are people from a TV show your mom used to watch as a child. Why is it framed on our wall?
Because it's autographed. Stop asking, you little... I need to find my Jessica Simpson autograph, too. I have a lot of autographs, actually. Not to brag, but I'll just brag.
Yeah, and they're so important that they're all hidden away somewhere where even you don't know they are.
I know, seriously. I need to start an autograph wall.
So that was...
True story. When I got Jessica Simpson's autograph, I asked her to sign a can of tuna. And the security quickly confiscated it, like as fast as one of the Messitt twins ran out the back door. It was that fast.
It's like she doesn't sign. What was the like?
Wait, I'm not done with my story. Yeah, and she looks at me and she goes, "Sorry."
Oh.
Otherwise, she wouldn't have even seen me because she was just signing and not looking up.
Well, that is creative. You took a chicken of the sea tuna can to be signed by Jessica Simpson.
Yes, I waited like 2 hours that she ended up signing her CD cover instead. So that was fine. You had to buy the CD too there. You could not bring anything you already paid for.
Well, that's how tapings work. But
you don't buy anything there at the taping?
Yeah, like at a book taping or a book signing.
I was like, what are you
if you go to a book signing, CD signing, you always have to buy it there.
Okay.
So just to kind of wrap up this taping, and I think we did a good job of not spoiling anything.
Yeah, for the most part.
But here's my theory as to why they finished the season by taping the second to last episode instead of the last episode. And I think it's because they wanted to have the after party on the Bayview High School gym set.
That's very possible. Because
in order to set that up, they had to kind of collapse down the backyard set and move one of the kids' rooms. I think Ramona's room is the one that got moved.
Oh, I don't know. But I never understand the logistics of those things that can be moved around. It was weird to not see the backyard. But yeah, the gym was huge. Like that was like actually a pretty big space. I always wondered how they did that Macy Gray like club scene and made like with such little space. But now I get it because they really can extend things, and the gym
or the Mexican wrestling rink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rap party was on there. I kind of wonder if the extras were invited to the rap party or if they got kicked out after that.
I don't think they were around. I did see that Jodie Sweetin was dancing around in a shark costume, and Andrea Barber had a rainbow afro wig.
Yeah, I imagine it's a good feeling once a season is over and you can kind of dance and celebrate that, you wrapped it. And let's not forget.
My goal for season 3 is for us to get invited to the rap party.
Ooh, I like your style. As we were leaving, people were lining up at the front.
Like all the guests were showing up. Those who couldn't, spare 6 hours to watch the taping.
Those who matter. Well, they were getting their makeup done, and one girl was quite
I was a little bit jealous. I did notice a lot of posts on Instagram and pictures of people. It's like, hey, we sat by them in the taping and they got to go to the party.
Hey,
and
we do a podcast every week and they got to the go. I talked to Jodie Sweetin. I know Jodie Sweetin.
Yeah, well,
Do you
if you
know
knew
who
her
I
so
am?
well, why didn't she invite you
That's okay.
next year?
That's why
Next
we didn't
year.
actually get a set tour. Sheila had said, that could be possible or whatever, but it ended up being that they were having their wrap party that night, so they pretty much, that's why there was no autographs and everything just kind of wrapped really right away after the taping. But you know who was there, Kyle?
Who was there?
Dave Coulier.
Yeah, he showed up for the party.
We did see him. I don't think I didn't see John Stamos.
They may have shown up later, but I
didn't see
think
Bob
they
Saget.
did.
You know what? They're big Instagram picture guys, so I feel like we would have seen pictures if they had.
Yeah.
But yeah,
well,
I don't know. They pulled an Olsen and didn't show up.
maybe we'll see them at the season 3 wrap party.
How funny would it have been if Mary Kate and Ashley tried to crash the wrap party and they're like, "Excuse me, you're not on the list."
Oh. Yeah.
That would have been great. Okay. Well, I think that's it. Next week is the recap of Love is in the Air. We hope
we're
you guys
finally gonna do it.
We hope you guys like listening to this. Hopefully it was interesting. But lots of good stuff coming up in season 2. We think that, as far as we know, season 2 is coming out in December. So we're going to have a lot to talk about pretty soon. Kyle, December is so soon. Like, I go to the store now and Halloween stuff is everywhere.
I'm still thinking that we're going to be surprised and it's going to be out in beginning of November. That's my prediction.
You think
There's
so?
a few reasons I think so, but
that'll be our 1-year anniversary of our show.
Hey!
And our 3-year anniversary of marriage is right around the corner, September 14th.
Yeah, in like a week. Happy anniversary, baby.
We accept gift cards and donations. Huh?
I guess we'll have another episode before our anniversary, so I take that happy anniversary back.
But I'll be 30 the next time I talk to you guys.
Birthday. This is your last podcast as a 29-year-old.
I'm still in my 20s.
Next episode, both of your hosts will be in their 30s.
That's true. You're old.
All right. Well,
Just kidding.
thank you
You're not
so
old. You're
much
cute.
for dragging me to another Fuller House taping.
I know it was long, but
it was a lot of fun.
You held out and you did great.
It was really long.
It was long.
Really, really, really long.
Yeah, it can take a while, especially.
Hey,
I'll just
Ron
say
helped the time fly by.
Yeah, he did. I'll just say it can take a long time to watch a taping when a dog is in the episode.
Yes. Apparently, dogs are worse actors than 7-year-olds.
Yeah, but speaking of dogs, Sadie gave up trying to get to, and she's now in bed.
I win. Hey, so if you're joining us for this episode, thanks so much for listening to us yak about a silly old show.
Who are you calling silly?
We really appreciate all your reviews and all of the comments we get from you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Of course, you can always shoot us an email at fullerhousepodcast@gmail.com. We love talking to all of you. And of course, this show is free to you, but it's not free to make. So if you have time to head over to iTunes or wherever you're listening to this and give us a like or a 5-star or whatever it is.
We'll always take a like.
Yeah, we love a like or throw a subscribe at us.
Throw me a bone here.
Yeah, but by subscribing, you'll make sure you never miss an episode. And we got some good things planned out before season 3.
But we'll talk to you next week.
You better believe it.
Okay.
All right.
I'm like hesitant to sign off. Like, okay, I'm still 29.
No, we got to go
29.
watch.
Still 29.
Yes, well, while you're still 29, we got to go watch episode 13, Love is in the Air. That way we can finally talk about this episode instead of keep pushing it off.
Okay, let's do it. I hear Viper likes older women anyway. Bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Fuller House Podcast with Erica and Kyle. Find us and like us on Facebook at the Fuller House Podcast, on Twitter at Fuller House Cast, or on Instagram at Fuller House Podcast. Or shoot us an email at fullerhousepodcast@gmail.com. And make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to us on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you found this show. And feel free to leave us a 5-star review. See you next week.
Hey, so
Hi.
have you ever as I'm thinking about doing this thing, we're finding different Full House and Fuller House related stuff like websites, Facebook pages, blogs. I stumbled across something,
Okay.
and it's a Facebook page called Rip Bob Saget.
Like rip him apart?
No, like rest in peace.
No, I love Bob. Don't.
Wait, no, I'm not saying anything good or bad about this. It's just hilarious to me because this guy it's a Facebook page with a cover image, and it just is a picture of Bob, and it says R.I.P. Bob Saget, 1956 to 2016.
Oh my gosh.
And he posts stories about it, and fake quotes from Candace Cameron Bure.
Oh my gosh,
if
what
you
a
look
weirdo.
back at the photos, it started in March of 2013. And so the first cover image on this Facebook page is R.I.P. Bob Saget, 1956 to 2013. And then a year later, he updated it to 1956 to 2014. And then to 2015. And now it's on 2016. And it's just...
I know that you get a kick out of this because when I first met your dad, we had been dating We'd been dating like
a few weeks.
No.
Maybe a couple months.
You took a while to introduce me to your parents.
Oh, okay.
Still hold that against you. Yeah, and we were sitting down, and I'm just like getting to know this man who would soon be my father-in-law, or eventually be. And Kyle and his dad are like bantering back and forth about the ghoul pool and who they predict to die this year. And I'm like,
okay, so
who are
this
these
is not
awful
something
people?
This is not something we started. We don't just go around talking about who we think will die. It's the thing where, at the first of the year, you come up with a ghoul pool list of celebrities that will die in the following year. And if one of them dies, you win the pool. If multiple of them die, whoever's the youngest wins. Like whoever you chose that was the youngest. So
Awful.
like Alicia Keys would be younger than Steve Martin.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
so, you know what?
This is not something I think I don't think this is good. That's a terrible thing. I'm so glad we stopped doing that.
Uh-huh. I'll always remember that was a very hot day. You know how?
How?
Because your dad, at the end of the conversation, when we're all done with lunch, says, "All right, guys, I gotta run. The new neighbors just moved in next door. I'm headed to Costco to buy them some wine because they've got a pool. See you later." I was like, this is the strangest meeting of any boyfriend's parents ever.
And wasn't the reason my mom not there because she was in the backyard
knee deep
in the
pond? What? I'm sorry my wife couldn't be here. She's knee deep in the pond right now. Okay, this is Southern California, right? Like we don't have ponds.
There's a koi pond, and she was cleaning it.
Well,
or I don't know what she was doing, but
fancy.
So, anyways, I think I'm gonna have to like this page. R.I.P. Bob Saget.
Don't you dare! Bob Saget is my hero.
Wait!
If he dies, I die.
Wait, I'm reading one of the posts.
Oh no!
And it's a link to a website that disproves celebrity deaths, and the post says, "This is a website that randomly generates celebrity death hoaxes. So if you read an article trying to call the death of Bob Saget a hoax, it's probably fake." It's like, what?
Okay, these people...
It doesn't even make sense, but I imagine there's some people who read that and be like, oh, I read he's still alive, but it's probably fake because some site talks about hoax. I don't even get it, but it's hilarious
it's like reverse
to me.
Psychology. So. Every once in a while, I feel a little strange. I feel a little silly. I have this Fuller House podcast and following and blah, blah, blah.
And you still won't tell your friends or family that you do this?
But I do feel pretty good about myself when I find out about people like that online.
Ooh, maybe that's what we need to do to finally make some money. We'll sell R.I.P. Bob Saget shirts.
I'm leaving now.
Oh, well, wait,
You're
wait.
tasteless.
Hey, no, just so you
Goodbye.
know, I'm going to arrange an interview with this guy for our Fuller House community episode.
I'm hanging up.